Imagine this. Someone smiles at you, compliments you, makes you trust them, and the entire time they're secretly controlling you. Most manipulation doesn't happen in dark rooms or criminal interrogations. It happens every single day, in relationships, friendships, workplaces, and even online. And the scary part, most people never realize it's happening until it's too late. Today, we're exposing 7 dark psychology tricks manipulators use to control people. And number 7 is so powerful that once you notice it, you'll never see people the same way again. Let's begin. The first manipulation tactic is called love bombing. At first, it feels amazing. Someone gives you non-stop attention, constant compliments, texts every second. They make you feel special, understood, important. It feels like a dream relationship or friendship. But here's the truth. Love bombing isn't always affection. Sometimes it's a strategy. Manipulators overwhelm you with attention so you become emotionally attached fast. And once you're attached, that attention suddenly disappears. Now you chase the validation they used to give you. That creates emotional dependency. And the manipulator gains control. Healthy people build trust slowly. Manipulators rush emotional connection because they want power before you notice the red flags. Now let's talk about one of the most dangerous manipulation tactics ever created. Gaslighting. This is when someone makes you question your own memory, reality, or sanity. You confront them about something they clearly did, and suddenly they say, "That never happened. You're overreacting. You're imagining things. You're crazy." Over time, you start doubting yourself. You stop trusting your instincts. And that's exactly what the manipulator wants. Because once you stop trusting yourself, you start depending on them to tell you what's real. That's psychological control at its darkest level. And the scariest part? Gaslighting often happens slowly over months or years. By the time victims realize it, their confidence is already destroyed. Ever had someone suddenly ignore you after an argument? No explanation, no communication, just silence. That's not always needing space. Sometimes it's emotional punishment. Manipulators use silence to create anxiety. Humans naturally fear rejection and abandonment. So when someone suddenly cuts off communication, your brain panics. You begin overthinking everything. What did I do wrong? Are they mad? Should I apologize? And that's the goal. The manipulator wants you to chase them. Silence becomes a weapon. Because the person who controls attention often controls the relationship. Next comes guilt tripping. This tactic makes you feel selfish for having boundaries. Manipulators say things like, "After everything I've done for you, I guess I'm just a terrible person then. You clearly don't care about me." Notice what's happening. Instead of discussing the actual issue, they attack your emotions. Why? Because guilt is powerful. When people feel guilty, they become easier to control. So instead of making decisions logically, you act emotionally. And manipulators love emotional reactions because emotional people are easier to influence. And trust me, the next manipulation tactic is something almost everyone has experienced without realizing it. Once you notice it, you'll start seeing it everywhere. This one is terrifying because it feels natural. It's called mirroring. Manipulators copy your interests, opinions, body language, and personality to make you trust them faster. You like a certain movie? Suddenly they love it too. You talk a certain way? They start speaking similarly. This creates a psychological illusion of similarity, and humans naturally trust people who seem like them. Salespeople use this, politicians use this, even scammers use this, because familiarity creates comfort, and comfort creates trust. Now, mirroring itself isn't always evil. Normal people naturally do it sometimes, but manipulators do it intentionally to gain influence. Manipulators also use fear and urgency. Why? Because scared people don't think clearly. That's why scammers say things like, "Act now," Limited time. You're running out of time. They want your emotions to overpower logic. Fear shuts down critical thinking. Your brain switches into survival mode. And in survival mode, people make impulsive decisions. That's how people get manipulated into toxic relationships, scams, bad contracts, and dangerous situations. The more emotional you become, the easier you are to control. Now for the most dangerous tactic of all, isolation. Manipulators slowly separate you from friends, family, and support systems. At first, it's subtle. They don't really care about you. I just want more time with you. Your friends are toxic. Over time, your world gets smaller, and eventually, the manipulator becomes the only voice you constantly hear. That's incredibly dangerous, because isolation removes outside perspectives. No one can warn you. No one can help you. No one can challenge the manipulator's control. This tactic is used in toxic relationships, cults, abusive friendships, and even criminal organizations. And once someone becomes isolated, escaping becomes much harder. Dark psychology works because it targets human emotions: fear, loneliness, validation, love, trust. And the truth is, the best defense against manipulation is awareness. Because once you recognize the game, you stop being controlled by it. So tell me in the comments, which manipulation tactic do you think is the most dangerous? And if you enjoyed this video, subscribe now for more psychology, true crime, and human behavior content, because the human mind is far darker than most people realize. See you in the next video.